Many people think this game is by Taito, but in fact, Exerion was developed and released by Jellicoe in February 1983. Taito just handled the US release. Looking at Exerion, you'd be forgiven in thinking it was just some sort of fancy Galaga clone, and in a way, I guess it can be seen as one, but it does have more to the playability. For a start, your craft has some crazy inertia to make it feel rather heavy and floaty. This can be very difficult to control at first, resulting in many deaths, but you'll soon get the hang of it. The craft has two shots, a very slow twin shot and a super fast single shot that just obliterates enemies. The problem is, this weapon is extremely limited and can only be charged by killing enemies. So your main weapon is the twin shot, while keeping the rapid single shot in reserves for fast moving enemy swarms. This style of play really does make you think about where on the screen you need to be, as that twin shot isn't going to kill everything on the first sweep. The first port came to the Sega SG-1000 in 1983, and was actually ported by Jellicoe, believe it or not. Sega only handled the distribution. This port loses the floaty feel of the ship and speeds up the twin shot, so much that it kinda makes the single shot seem redundant. The game only seems to have 7 screens that just repeat on a loop until you lose all lives. Much easier than the arcade, but still able to pack a challenge on later levels. Following on from the Sega SG-1000 came the MSX port, released in April 1984. Demper, the guys behind the cool upscaling converters, ported this version from the Sega SG-1000, and it's pretty much identical. Not much more to say about this one really. Two years after the first port came the Famicom release, on February 2nd, 1985. This port was ported by Tose, but released by Jellicoe. In some ways, it is better than the Sega SG-1000 and MSX versions, because this follows the arcade enemy pattern layout closer. However, the enemies are also more aggressive, making this version tougher. The scrolling floor is nice, but maybe a little shallow in depth. Still, that's just a minor gripe. Overall, this is a very nice version of Exerion. On October 23, 2003, PCCW released their in-house developed Jellicoe Collection Volume 1. Well, what a sack of crap this is. What we get is a port of the Famicom game, not the arcade. Why the hell would we want a port of the Famicom version? In fact, I wonder if this is emulation. I think that because the title screen music runs way too fast. last non-emulated port to be released was on the Gameboy Advance, as part of the Jajamaru Jr. then Shoki game. Again, this was handled by PCCW and came out on May 26, 2004. But wait, did I say non-emulated port? This is the bloody Famicom version again. But funnily enough, it's running better than it did on the PlayStation. Is this emulation again? You see, this is why I don't include compilation versions of games on Battle of the Ports. Oh well. And let's take a look at all those versions of Exerion running side by side.